to be a generalist. Does this work?
You're going to extend my minute, right? To be a generalist, I do feel that the consolidation of services is absolutely essential for what we do at the county. We have 70 towns in the county, we have 70 police departments, and this is a perfect way that we can consolidate to save services. The county can be a conduit for the consolidation of these services, and if each town can save a significant amount of money by the consolidation of services through the county, we'll all have lower taxes. I think it's a very beneficial way to approach things, and I think we should definitely consider it.
I'm not sure. This is back on again. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But, do any of you want to take half a minute to respond to what your colleague said? Joe.
I've worked for many, many years on trying to consolidate services, and I have to say that every time I was thwarted because people in Bergen County really like home rule. And when you say, should we consolidate the schools, should we consolidate, any of the services like the DPW and things of that sort, if you put it up for a vote, it will go down. People just don't want it. They want their own town. And even though we have 70, I only know of 2 towns that I have worked with that have consolidated the DPW service, but no other towns that I am aware of at this point has done it.
David, do you want to say anything?
Thank you. Let me just add that with respect to the police, we actually have 74 different police entities that act in the county of Bergen. And it really is very essential that at least one of them, that is the county police, become a part of the sheriff's department through the reorganization that we contemplated. And the principal reason for it is, this is simple. You have 2 entities doing the same thing, and you have potential to save $200 or $250 million over 25 years.
Yeah, just to add, in my own town, we have a Bergen Dispatch, which is a municipal dispatch, emergency service dispatch, and we supply several towns with that service. And that's been in Ridgewood, servicing other communities as a shared service for years. So, I'd like to say we were one of the first ones to start a shared service, but I don't think that there's anybody that doesn't realize that, an economy of scale anywhere, in business, in your home, anywhere, is going to be a positive thing for Bergen County.
I'm going to respond to something from David's opening statement. One of the statements was that he has a strong record of fighting and cutting taxes. I do want to point out that during the 10 years he was on the Freeholder board during the McNerney administration, taxes went up between 6 and 7% every single year on the average. It took Kathy Donovan 4 years ago to lower the taxes, to cut back the budget. The Democrats never did it. They had the opportunity, and it seemed they never met a tax that they didn't like. They just couldn't say no to taxes.
Okay. We're getting a little difference here. Let me ask one quick question, and if any of you have 30-second response, I'd like to know about it. Do you think that, for example, dispatching is something that the county should try to provide across the board to the whole county, potentially, serving perhaps the whole county eventually? I assume each one of them choosing individually to do so. Anybody want to take that one on?
I'll take it. Yeah, the county has already proposed that. I mean, it would make sense. We have a law and safety building up in Mawa that we could utilize for many different services. A county dispatch would be one of them.
I think that Joe wants the mic.
Yes, we have the service up in Mawa, but when the towns were offered an opportunity to join in a county-wide response, the towns didn't want it. Only 11 towns out of 70 have opted to take that. They just don't trust it would be too far away as far as some of the towns are concerned because it is up in Mawa. And so this is a very hard sell.
Actually, there's a very live question here in TNEC. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that is a very live question within the council among those who dispatch locally and advocate for the county. Let me take the next question too. We have Bob begin it by talking about the issue of making good decisions about training, equipment, purchasing by our public safety providers, which has become really highly charged since the continuing struggle in Ferguson, Missouri. The deployment of large MRAP-like military equipment is believed by some to have been a major factor in that struggle in Missouri. How do you view the best way to assure that equipment and public safety personnel who use them maintain the trust of the residents, especially when local tensions rise? And how should the county resources be involved, and should the freeholders be involved themselves in those deliberations and decisions? Or is that a matter for the county executive and the sheriff?
Is that my question?
That's your question.
All right, first of all,
Everybody's question.
great. First of all, as to those, and how long have I got on this one?
You have a minute.
Okay. First of all, let me say I don't like
You have
those.
30 seconds later.
I don't like those vehicles on the streets. I don't have any place on the streets. Having said that, I do understand that our county sheriff is a very smart gentleman, and he feels that there is a need for these vehicles. And I understand that under some circumstances, there may be a need at some point for these vehicles on the street. I think since the vehicles are coming apparently, I think there needs to be oversight and discussion as to how they're used, when they're deployed on the street, and the training for the people to use them, pretty obviously. I do not think it's inappropriate for the freeholders to be involved in that discussion at all. I do not think it's inappropriate for the county executive to be involved as well. Indeed, I would encourage it. As I said, these are vehicles that can be very disturbing to residents. I understand that they're concerned, and I think they should probably be kept behind the jail, out of sight, in all but extreme emergency cases.
Okay. Let's go to David Gans next.
Well, if you look at what these vehicles are used for, you understand that nobody wants to see them on patrol. Nobody wants to see them used. Yet, Freeholder Boston and I were walking door to door in Garfield on Midland Avenue when we saw the Bearcat, which the county executive purchased for $450,000 3 years ago, with its armored device placed in line of sight of the building because of a terroristic threat that was perceived as being there. There are many sound reasons why you would want to have the vehicles that the sheriff is looking for. You have to simply look at the fact that you can use that in up to 7 feet of water, which we needed in Little Ferry for the last hurricane. Overall, nobody wants to see militarization of our police department or our sheriff's department, but there's a real need to have this for the what-ifs. What if the Paramus Mall was not a single gunman, but many, and many other examples.
Bernadette, you get the next one, and then Joe.
My nephew just came back from Afghanistan not too long ago. Before he went to Afghanistan, he came here to New Jersey, and he trained in Fort Dix using those vehicles. And the reason that they trained so long in Fort Dix is because those are vehicles that should be used by personnel only trained to use them. I am not in favor of having an MRAP on the streets of Bergen County. I am not in favor of us militarizing our police force, and I am not in favor of, you can go on and Google it, it was a military boondoggle, and just because it's free, I know a person that says if it's free, it's for me, I'll take 3. I don't want them on our streets.
We had a regional SWAT team, and apparently when the county executive bought the Bearcats 4 years ago, I think only the county police is allowed to use them. They're not being shared. And I think that was one of the motivations of getting the free MRAPs. And as David pointed out, I don't think people are aware of how many rivers and streams and bridges we have. And to me, the most important aspect of this MRAP is the fact that the equipment we have now can only help people in 3 feet of water. We've been through Irene, we've been through Sandy, we've been through some terrible situations, and these MRAPs can go and rescue people in 7 feet of water, and that, for me, is a really big saving.
What I'd like to do in any response that anybody has that uses this question as a takeoff point is to find out where it is that you think that the freeholders should be deliberating and making those decisions and where it is that they shouldn't. And let me take it to another issue if you want to go beyond the questions we're just dealing with between the police and the sheriff's office and the county executive. Do you folks think that beyond making budgets for education, it's the role of the freeholders to participate in the decision-making processes involving curriculum and teacher achievement evaluation for the county? Is that a proper role for the freeholders, or does that lie beyond it? And if so, why? Joe?
I'm a teacher, and I have a sign in my office: those who can teach, those who can't teach make laws about teaching. And I found, we need diversification. One of the things I'm very proud of, and I serve on all the committees, is we have a wonderful Bergen Community College, we have a wonderful academy, we have a wonderful vocational school, wonderful technical school, and wonderful special services. It is not the Freeholders Board to have anything to do with the curriculum of these facilities, but we must make sure that they are financed to the best of our ability.
Actually, David, do you want to take the next? We'll just walk along the process.
All right. I actually want to add something to that. If you look at the way that the budget books are, we have hundreds of pages for various departments, but for Bergen Community College, with an average of $16 to $18 million annually, we have one page and one line. It's a one-line budget. And the reason for that is that state law precludes the freeholders from involvement in that type of situation, just as state law prohibits the freeholders from having anything to do with the county budget, and municipalities from having anything to do with it as well, except when a budget goes down to the field.
Okay.
I think the question had to do with the makeup of the Freeholder Board, correct?
I'm interested in knowing where it is that the legislative role